it was for real until.
All right, y'all. So, in the spirit of transparency, because we want a lot more of that, you know, we started off real good in season 2, and we definitely going to increase that transparency as much as possible without getting crazy into season 3. We decided we was going to talk about shit that gets on each other's nerves. There's shit that Candace does that just gets on my motherfucking nerves, and I'm 100% sure there's stuff I do that would make her put my head through a wall.
Oh, absolutely. I have some really strange pet peeves that I think that not everybody has, but irk the shit out of me.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like there is this meme going around. It's just like, I love you sometimes, and I believe you posted it on our Black May Fly IG.
Yeah.
It's just like, I love you, but I want to square up with you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if you don't want to square up with your partner, like, you don't love them for real.
Yeah, y'all not married. You ain't ever thought about scrapping, you know, or like just being done. Y'all ain't married for real. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't argue till like 1 a.m. It's coming, or y'all ain't married for real.
One or the other. Like, ain't that much marriage counseling in the fucking world to where the idea of, you know what, if I just punch the shit out of this motherfucker right now, I feel so much better. It doesn't cross your mind.
Mm-hmm. But the passion's there. That means you give a shit. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. Just don't act on it.
You know, don't snap.
Don't act on it. That's the wrong thing to do. So we have a little format for this, and we have 3 categories, sort of Jeopardy style. Category 1, you're being petty. Category 2, things most people would find annoying. And in category 3, bruh, what the fuck is wrong with you? So these are 3 different levels. Like, there are some of these things where it's like that's not really bothering me. And most people, and then there's the next one, which is most people be like, yeah, you kind of tripping. Then the next one is like, how the fuck is that even possible, dog? Are you serious? You know? So we'll go back and forth.
How many are we going to put in each category? Are we going to go 3 for 3?
Yeah, we'll do 3 for 3.
Okay.
So I'll start it off. The you're being petty. Candace doesn't burp, she belches, y'all. Okay? She big boy belches. Like, she burps harder than I do a lot of the time. And she might think that shit's cute.
I don't.
Okay. I don't think that shit's cute. I see that shit and I'm like, word. That's what's hot in the streets.
Okay.
Because it's something that's intentional. Like, you can't burp with your mouth closed. You know what I'm saying? Like, she feels the gas coming, she just let it out. And I don't like that shit. I don't know how else to put it. Like, it's that simple. It's like, why do we have to, like, maximize that? I don't like when dudes do that. I don't like when nobody do it. But then Candace, it's like all the nice feminine daintiness just washed away with the burp. It just exhaled it right out with the burp. You know, and it's gone.
Obviously, you've pondered this for quite some time.
Just a little bit. So that's thing number 1 that I would say. That's a small thing in general, because I don't know, nobody's gonna be like, oh, that's a deal breaker. They burp.
Somebody might be. There's somebody holding a fart right now.
That person's real lonely too. You know what I'm saying? They face probably look like they holding a fart. Like, so if that bothers you and that's a deal breaker, just prepare to be lonely, because you ain't gonna find Mr. or Mrs. Right. So, what's your number 1? You're being petty.
My number 1 being petty.
Or your first, rather.
Whatever. The being petty category. First one. This one will see unopened mail and just keep walking past it. Don't check it to see if it's a bill, if it's an urgent letter, if it's a Christmas card, if it's a bank card, if it's a health card. Just see it on the table. Yeah, if it's a check, it don't matter. Just see it on the table. Just keep gingerly walking past. Just mail.
I see there's bills.
Don't even check to see if it's all bills, though.
Right. I see there's mail with my name on it.
Yeah.
Irrelevant.
Pretty much. He's like, that says Robert. Keeps going. Yeah. I'm just like, we done had checks have to be resent because they came in his name and he never opened it. We done had bills say, oh, you got 24 hours to pay it or we cutting off, but he didn't open the mail, so he didn't know that.
Also true.
We done had medical card sitting around talking about, dang, I need to go to the doctor. They ain't never sent my medical card. It's sitting in the pile of mail. Okay. Even better, we had a health savings card with over $1,000 on it.
Yeah.
They never sent it. Bruh, it's been in the envelope the whole damn time. We over here like, I don't know how I'm going to pay for this procedure. Right. Money's on the card. Yeah, it's just like, just no fucks given. I'm like, who does that?
I'm getting better about that, I like to think.
I open all the mail.
That's not true.
I open almost all the mail. If it sits for too long, like I give it like a week 7 full days.
There's a whole lot of mail that like you lay it on my desk because you usually go to the mailbox. You lay it on my desk and I'll open it usually the next day or same day.
Well, I thought that system was working, but prior to that, I was giving it 7 days on the table. Yes, this is the laying it on the desk is a 2-week-old system. Prior to that, I was just opening everything.
You gonna put me out here like that?
I'm just saying, don't act like this. Don't act like this has been a long time coming.
No. When I say I'm getting better, like I was in the basement. There's not a way to get worse. You know what I'm saying? So opening mail at all is getting better.
Yes, but you seem to have a desire to open it now, so that's why I started putting it in your office.
Yeah. Well, we're recording Black Mary Flat.
Mm-hmm. All right, so, sir, we're now up to.
Yeah, we're 1 for 1 in this category.
Okay.
So or do you want to do one each for each one for each category?
I thought we meant one for each category, but whatever. I have 3 petties.
I got y'all. Okay, I got some more. And this one maybe isn't even having anything to do with Candace. It's more about perception, which, you know, perception matters. But sometimes Candace will be like, I'm thirsty or I'm hungry. I want to eat something. And then she'll just sit there. So in my head, I'm like, are you asking me to go get you a glass of water? Are you expecting me to go do it? And in my head sometimes, and I've exaggerated a little bit, but Candace is just like, oh, I'm so thirsty. It would be so nice if somebody got me a glass of water. But, you know, I'm just sitting here waiting for some water. Did I mention I was thirsty? And it don't sound like that for real, but in my head it's like that. Because it's like, yo, you just said you were thirsty, but you still sitting here.
I'm not thirsty enough to get up yet. You see how it was. Literally 2 days, I was like, damn, I'm hella thirsty. But I don't want to drink water. And what did I do? I got up and went all the way to the store.
I offered to go get her some juice or something. And she was like, no.
You ain't had no pants on.
Yeah, that's a hard fix. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I already had on pants.
Once the pants are off, you know.
It's about who can do it the fastest. The person who already had on
pants. Who do you think? Oh,
me. I had on pants already.
Yeah. I don't mind going down to town throwing my drawers. Arrested.
You can't get arrested for that.
They'll find a way. Excuse me, sir.
That's not indecent exposure. It's the no draws. This gives grounds.
So just having
that's
hanging
why people.
out.
Yeah, that's why people in Walmart exist.
The imprint don't count.
Nope.
Oh.
You seen the people at Walmart? Long as it's covered up, enough.
Anyway, man, we're gonna get back to our topic. I ain't trying to talk about that. So you got another you being petty?
Not one that I think that everyone will just agree that I'm being petty. I think that it falls into the generally, like, most people would find that annoying category.
Well, let's go ahead and move into that category.
All right.
Things most people would find annoying.
Hold on, wait. One, I do have a petty one.
Okay.
This fool, like, I don't know what's wrong with him, why he does this, but he'll just keep going and going and going until he is, like, dog-ass tired. He'll lay down, act like he's still awake, and not put that fucking CPAP mask on. Now, that is not the biggest problem. The problem is when I be like, babe, put your mask on. He then replies through sleep, okay, don't do shit.
I'm asleep, bruh.
Bruh, I'm waking you up the nice way. And then once I do something jarring, like shake you or get loud, you be like, okay. Like, I didn't say it nicely at first.
The last time that happened, you said you asked me 5 times to put my mask on. I remember you doing it once and then fussing at me. Okay? Most of my brain is shut off as far as operations go.
I'm just like, when you hit the pillow, put the shit on.
I do that like 98% of the time, though, I think. Come on, dog.
You be giving yourself some generous ass 98%. So okay, is this a curve?
How many days out the year you think you got to tell me about my mask?
I tell you at least twice a week. Like on average.
Twice a week?
At least. It's not every day, but when I do, it's like I have to ask you 17,000 times to the point where I'm like, I'm about to stand on this nigga chest and yell in his face in a minute.
Put on your CPAP mask.
Now, nigga.
Guard. Okay. I think that would be the reason that's annoying, y'all, is because I sound like a freaking buzzsaw in the woods when I'm snoring. Like I sound like a whole bear. And can't nobody sleep with that. Plus, Candace actually cares about me. She don't want me dying in my sleep.
I'm just like, why he don't want to put his fucking mask on?
It's not that I don't. It's that I'm so fucking tired that I just go to sleep. I just go to sleep.
Like, that's the part that kills me. I'm just like, so you the one who stopped breathing during the night, and you have the nerve to not want to put this shit on.
I wake up every morning with a big ass headache and dog ass tired, so I'm cool. Why'd I do that at?
All right, let's move on to the most people would find this generally annoying category.
Right. You want me to kick that off?
No, I'll go first.
Okay.
Number 1, I have 2 that I think most people will find generally annoying. We have a clothes hamper in nearly all the rooms that this gentleman frequents, so there's no reason to.
1, 2.
We don't have one in the living room because that's inappropriate, but I wish we had one in the kitchen. I just can't find a place to put it. However, in the bedroom and in the office, there is a hamper. If you're watching me on Instagram or YouTube or something, you can see this lovely, beautiful hamper.
It's right here.
Like, it's not even cheap. It is fabric with the Muslim on the inside. The insert comes out so you can carry the laundry to wherever it belongs.
Yeah.
It's always socks on the fucking floor. And, like, the cold part, like, that kills me the most is, like, the hamper's not that far away. Similar in our bedroom. If you just decided to take a shot, you could probably get it in there. They just be on the floor wherever he took them off at. Next to the bed.
Mostly.
Next to the closet.
Mostly.
Under the bed, because the dog done dragged one under there with him.
Accidentally.
Never close to the hamper, but always on the floor in the room where there's a hamper.
So I got a really good reason for doing that, and that's that I don't really have a good reason.
I was just like, please enlighten me.
I don't have a justification for that. It's more like, I'll do it tomorrow. Take socks off, do it tomorrow. And tomorrow never comes.
No.
So
I have this thing about socks. I'm like, socks are not to be touched by multiple people.
Yeah. So speaking of people not putting shit where it goes, something I find annoying that Candace does is when she hand washes dishes, she puts them in the dish rack. The dish rack is now where they're going to be until they are removed by myself, for the most part. That dish rack, pots and pans will stay in that joint for a good week if I let them sit there. And that's just wild annoying to me because it's like the dishes are right there, dog. And like, let's say I want to wash something and just let it dry.
You want to wash something?
Yeah, imagine that. Imagine that. Let's say I just need to use a plate real quick, so I wash it real quick. Or I'm in a real, get shit done mood, so I'm gonna wash some dishes. There's no place to put anything because these pots and pans have been sitting here for the past week, and they have no plans on growing legs and walking into the cabinet where they belong. And they will sit there, and that's just the Candace way. I've asked her about this previously. Candace is gonna do what the fuck she wants to do, the way she wants to do it, and that is why they don't move.
That is hilarious because my next one was how you will fill the fucking dishwasher to the brim and not turn that bitch on.
That's absent-mindedness. Is it okay? No, but it's absent-mindedness. It's like I'm gonna go.
It is absent-mindedness almost every time he loads the dishwasher. Like, if I'm not running through that bitch with him, like, it's all of a sudden absent-minded that the dishwasher cannot fit a single fucking dish more. It's loaded all stupid. Not the Tetris way, but the Robert way. And the shit is not turned on. The other day I opened the dishwasher because I thought I could put something else in it. And, like, the smell that came out of it literally made me vomit in the sink.
You vomited?
Yes.
Oh, I ain't know about this. This is some new shit.
So I'm over here and I'm wondering how long had this full-ass dishwasher been sitting there not turned on. But I was very fortunate that the sink was right there.
Yeah. What? That's gross.
No, it's disgusting. And, it's Texas summer right now. Like, even with the AC on, certain areas still are hot as fuck.
I don't know about all that.
Stick your hand in the dishwasher. It's always warm in there.
Okay. I wouldn't know. I don't be in the dishwasher.
All right, go ahead with your next one.
You not saying shit when I'm talking. I'll ask you something, you don't say nothing. Or I'll say something, you don't say nothing. Now, this is where the pet peeve is. Not that part, but the reason. Sometimes it's Candace heard me and she just didn't have shit to say. Other times, she was not listening. You know what I'm saying? Either way, I don't know. So then I'm like, yo, you heard what I said? Yeah, I heard you. So sometimes I feel there's a little bit of attitude coming when I ask you that. But it's like, bro, you mad inconsistent about whether I don't know for certain if you heard me or not. Sometimes you genuinely did not hear me because, you know, something going on with your ears. Sometimes you had your earbuds in, I didn't realize it. Sometimes you're on your phone and you are dog shit at multitasking. You know what I'm saying? So
I don't multitask.
there we go. So if Candace is in her phone, the rest of the world is dead. You know what I'm saying? Like, so if you, and definitely if you're reading, there's nothing else going on. Or you're just going to get annoyed real quick. Bro, I'm reading. You know, so I find that shit kind of annoying because I don't know whether you heard me or not, and I'm not going to assume. So I'm going to ask.
Not even in my defense, but if you didn't ask me a question and I don't say shit, it's because there's no reply. You didn't ask a question.
Or you
you
genuinely
made a statement, and I was like, okay.
Or you didn't hear me.
Yeah, or I'm not listening. I'm just like...
Either way, it's a problem.
Because
I need some confirmation.
Talk a lot.
Yeah, I like talking to my wife, you know. I need to work on that.
Mm-hmm.
Talking to my wife and shit.
All right, so my last generally annoying thing.
Yeah.
Tissues. Snotty motherfucking tissues. For some reason, this person thinks that we can reuse tissues. Now, you can reuse a handkerchief. Maybe even a kerchief.
What's the
A
difference?
pocket square.
Yeah.
What do you think that pocket square is actually, like, the real use is? Not just decoration.
Same
Like,
thing as cufflinks.
No, it's to hold. The cufflinks aren't just decoration. They hold your sleeve closed.
You could get a button shirt where that does that.
Yeah.
You wearing a
not
cufflink
everyone
shirt.
does that.
You like them decorations.
Like I said, not everyone does that. Just like a pocket square is, you know, if you needed to pat your head, wipe a tear, and a clutch, blow your nose, and a super clutch, wipe your ass.
All right,
there's a real
there.
purpose for a pocket square other than decoration is all I'm trying to point out. Now, for those who are listening, if you grab a Kleenex, a disposable, biodegradable Kleenex, or a piece of toilet paper and blow your nose on it, it is now done. Just like you don't reuse
Candace
that to
rules.
wipe your ass
Candace
again.
rules. Not the same as ass wiping.
You have put a bodily fluid on it. Now it is done.
Candace
Nothing
rules.
on the Kleenex box says that you can blow your nose into the single Kleenex multiple times. Nothing on the toilet paper pack says that you can blow your nose on that multiple times. So there's no reason for it to be around the house. And if you are going to reuse it, it should be on your person.
I agree with that part.
Now, if I lean back, I can see a snot rag, a snotty tissue on the arm of my couch right now.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for those who don't know, it's been almost an hour since we haven't been in the living room. We're clearly not reusing that.
I might later.
I think most people would find that generally disgusting.
I think you got a weird fluids thing going on. But
That's how you pass germs and diseases, bruh.
here's the thing. Like, I didn't even start out that way.
Who said that was okay? Because it was never me.
Nope, nobody. What I mean is like the tissue thing, the one-use thing. I used to do that, the one-use shit, and my mom was like, you ain't finna be using Kleenex like that. If you can use that mug again, use it again. Because I could go through a box of Kleenex. If my allergies are bad, I go through 2-3 boxes of Kleenex in a day. No problem.
And
You know
she
what I'm
was
saying?
fine with you leaving him around the house.
Okay, I didn't really do that, though. I'm not saying that's okay, dog. I'm not defending myself. I'm just talking about the reuse part. You know, I disagree with the reuse part. I have no defense for leaving that shit around.
I was about to say, I feel like if you were actually reusing them as the way you think you are, that I would never notice that you were reusing them because they would be on your person.
I go find them usually.
I pick a lot of them up from the side of the trash can in the bathrooms.
No defense here. I understand why it's annoying.
I think most people would generally find it annoying.
That's why that's to get in that category. Good category. So, the next category is, bruh, what the fuck is wrong with you? And this is the stuff that most people would be like, I don't know how you deal with that, or, dog, you are super tripping about that. So there's two different ways to take that one. Either way, it's level 3 stuff that you probably need some counseling about.
And by you, we probably mean the other person.
Yeah.
Go ahead with your pet peeves. I kicked off the middle one. It's your turn to kick off.
Okay.
At the top of the what the fuck are you doing?
Is Candace cutting me off when I'm talking. That's the kind of shit that just makes me want to shut the fuck down. Like, if we're having a conversation and I'm not finished making my point, or she, more importantly, or worse, she assumes the point I'm going to make even though she has no idea what it is because she's not sitting in my brain. and she just cuts me off and starts talking about whatever she thinks the point was, or whatever she thinks I was trying to say, or just some other shit. Now, sometimes, in her defense, it's not cutting things off. She just uses commas like they're periods. You know what I'm saying?
Do not put that on me.
Okay.
You don't understand proper interpersonal communication.
Don't put that on me.
Because, no, I'm not putting it 100% on you. I'm putting it on your mama.
What? Wait,
because
man.
That's
wait.
who taught you how to communicate, yes or no.
Let's pause real quick. I just said something that I think you're doing, and you said don't put that on me. You made an assumption about something I'm doing.
Oh, no, because you made it seem like I don't know how to use commas, and right now I'm the expert on how to use commas.
I'm not saying you don't know how to. I'm saying in the pacing of a sentence, it throws me off.
That's because you don't know how to use a comma, sir. I'm using a comma correctly.
I don't know how to use comma?
Clearly, if you are mistaking my use of commas or my interpretation of a natural pause in a conversation where a comma goes incorrectly, like as you stated, as if it were a period, you're the one who's missing it. And that's why I was like, it's the interpersonal communication. There's a flaw in it. And I don't think that it was you personally who came up with your own form of interpersonal communication. I think that this goes back to how your family communicates.
So this is something where it's like, all right, this is not even, she won't even give me the ownership that this is my fault. She's going to say it's my mama's fault and I can't deprogram myself.
You can deprogram yourself. You just choose not to. That's, okay. I'm just saying, like, the way the nuclear family taught you to communicate is the real problem.
Are you serious?
Absolutely.
Y'all talk like all over each other all the time in your house. I don't know how anybody's really even trying to have a conversation.
Ask anyone who has more than one sibling. Like, that's normal in a household like that.
Then how does anybody communicate? If you're talking, you're not listening. Most people aren't. But if everybody's talking, then everybody's not listening.
I mean, so not everything is worth listening to. Some people talk too fucking much.
Then dead the conversation.
I try.
So now this is about, I'm still talking about like family dynamics, because that's what you just made this about.
I mean, within this family, within the one I came from. Mm-hmm. When I don't want to fucking talk, I always try to dead the shit. Y'all all just want to talk to me anyway.
Everybody does. Something wrong with us. We just want to talk to people we care about.
I just feel like I'm very direct when I don't want to talk.
Yeah, me too. But I try, when I think somebody else wants to talk, I try to open up and make some leeway if they want to discuss something in the moment. But what I'm saying is that when I get cut off, for me, it's like an immediate shutdown, because it's like, are we trying to have a conversation where you're trying to understand what I'm saying and then I'm trying to understand what you're saying and then we share ideas? Or is this a situation where somebody just wants to get their viewpoint out and they don't really give a fuck about what the other person has to say? Because that's a different situation. In that case, somebody needs to just go to your therapist. I could just go to my therapist and say what I need to say. But if it's about sharing ideas, then that's a different situation. And cutting each other off, like, at least for me, maybe I'm a little sensitive about it, but it's like, why am I even talking? This person isn't interested in hearing what I have to say. You know what I'm saying?
I suppose. Like I said, I'm perfectly fine being quiet.
I'm talking about getting cut off.
I'm perfect. I don't take offense to it, because I know that when you communicate with other people, that is a possibility.
Is it okay with you? You like, well, they
I don't
just
give
run
a shit.
Okay, I guess that's a different viewpoint in like the way people are raised. Like you said, you grew up with a bunch of siblings where people didn't respect what other people had to say, or they didn't care in the moment, so they were trying to get out their viewpoint, and you just got used to it. That's normal for you. But that's the difference in, like, like you were saying about my mom. Like, it was a little bit different. If somebody's talking, the other person ain't talking. You know what I'm saying? So maybe because I got used to that, and it's like, okay, if I'm talking, then the other person isn't talking. And I try to respect that too most of the time.
Well, let me go ahead and clarify this. Growing up with siblings, these motherfuckers didn't have shit to say that was dire and important to where I needed to listen. Growing up with parents, to some extent, they stopped having shit that was dire and important, and I had to listen all the time too. Being in a marriage, unless we are sharing something like, hey babe, this is something that's been bothering me, or this is something that we need to address within the relationship so that we can have a better life, most of that shit don't be dire and important and require my 100% attention either.
So if it's not a P1 thing, a priority one thing, then it's not worth listening to.
I'm not going to commit it to my memory for the most part. Like, there's some conversations that we have and I'm just like, oh, it was really funny, and like, we enjoyed the conversation, but everything's not like that for me, and I don't think it's supposed to be. And so therefore, in some conversations, especially when I'm already annoyed and I'm just like, someone's talking out their ass, but they never will admit to it, and vice versa. I'm just like, what is the point of continuing this? I'm just like, let me just get off my only opinion so that we can hurry up and finish this shit.
I feel you.
But I don't value, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I don't value communicating just for the sake of communicating. Like, I value having my thoughts in my solitude.
I get that. So like what happened like literally just now when I was about to start talking, I was about to start talking because I thought you were finished talking, but you were actually just paused. You see what I'm saying?
That's a natural pause. That's what a semicolon does.
That's a long pause.
That's exactly what a semicolon does.
Okay, my bad. You do a lot of semicolons, and most people in my experience don't speak like that. So even though we've been together as long as we have, like it's still something where it's like I'm still trying to figure it out. Like, do I talk here? Do I wait? Or do I let the pause turn real, get all pregnant and have a child?
Well, just see if their mouth is still open. Because in this moment, the pause, I'm like, my mouth was literally open.
The whole time?
Yes, I took a moment to take a breath before I connected my subjects.
I breathed through my nose.
Okay.
So that's the other part that throws me off. But now that I know that, I'll try to incorporate it.
I mean, communication is more than just words coming out. You need to pay people's body language and their mannerisms and stuff attention too. That's what changes somebody being nice and saying something nice to somebody saying something sarcastic.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's where I go back to interpersonal communication styles. Like, the way that you were taught to communicate within your nuclear family, it exudes in how you communicate with other people. If you live in a household where absolutely nobody talk with their hands, it is not unfair for you to assume when you go into the world and someone's speaking with their hands that they're being aggressive. Like, that is 100% normal. So I'm like, I wasn't trying to, shit on your family, and I was just like, yo, mama. But it has a lot to do with how you interpret things.
No doubt.
And I'm just like, for me, I'm just like, I don't have a whole bunch of value on words because, number one, show me with your fucking actions. I don't give a fuck what you said. And number two, like, words fall out all the fucking time. Like, the TV has words, the podcast has words, music have words. Like, there's not a moment where words aren't floating through the fucking air. But it's just one of those things where I have too many people who are communicating in my household on a regular basis to where I'm just like, I don't want to do this shit with y'all. Shut up. I want some quiet. And now that I'm an adult, I value those things.
No doubt. Like, I understand, like, everything you just said, and most of it makes a lot of sense. And I try to respect that, you know what I'm saying? I just think that, for me at least, communicating with somebody verbally, because that's the primary mode of communication for most people, it builds rapport, it gets your communication experience points up, you learn more about that person. Even if it's small talk. For me, learning more about somebody, yeah, I know small talk like means nothing to Candace.
I hate that shit.
But at the same time, like, how do you define small talk? Because, like, there are things that it's like, okay, this shit don't really fucking matter to me, but she's real passionate about it, so I'm gonna listen. But it doesn't really matter. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, how does anybody categorize that? It's like, is it something that doesn't matter to both people?
I look at small talk for the sake of talking. Like, if it's just for the sake of feeling quiet, like someone's in the room with me, so I feel obligated to talk to them, that's small talk.
And that's like the end all definition. For
me.
I get that. Yeah, like, you and me are definitely different people that way, because I feel like out in the world, when we're together out in the world, you're really good at being in a conversation and controlling the conversation and being dynamic in the conversation and talking. And I'm the opposite. Like, I can carry a conversation, but most of the time it's like, dog, I don't give a fuck. Like, if I could just say that, I would just say it. Because with most people, and I mean, like, outside of probably 5, maybe 10 people in my life, I don't give a fuck what you have to say at all. It doesn't really have much bearing on my life. You know what I'm saying? But with those 10 people or so that, like, I do care about, I want to know every single thing. I want to have, like, the deepest conversations, the lightest conversations. Like, those are the only people, like, I enjoy talking to. And I feel like for you, it's almost the opposite, where it's like, I can carry a conversation, you know what I'm saying? My job is to talk. A lot of my job is talking. I get home, I'm talked out. Right?
Is that unfair?
I don't think so. I'm trying to understand. Is my assumption correct?
I just don't feel like you have to fill the silence. Like, even at school, like, the kids be talking to me and shit all the time, and they be like, well, are you listening? I'm just like, no.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. I don't know why you're still talking.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, it's not just here. Like before, I didn't really, in my previous career, I didn't have the freedom to do that. Like, and just be like, no, I'm not listening. But I do have that now.
I don't have that freedom.
And I exercise it.
I probably never will have that freedom.
But that's because I don't feel like there's value in filling the quiet. I think that the quiet is where you put together some of your best thoughts. And if more people would get comfortable with their fucking thoughts, they can learn something about themselves and probably be a little more emotionally intelligent and make better choices in their actions.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I think that's where the interpretation is different. For me, it's not filling the quiet. Oh, my wife's in the room, so I don't want it to be awkward. That's not what it's about. It's like, hey, my wife's in the room. I want to talk to her.
That's bombarding. Like for someone who thinks the opposite, like we don't have to always feel the silence. That we can take a moment and meditate and do some introspective self-thinking. Mm-hmm. Like, hey, my wife is in the room. Like, that shit can be bombarding. I don't even like it when the dog does that shit all the time. Like, all right, Hugh, I saw you already. Get the fuck away from me.
Mm-hmm. I understand that.
Can I get my pet peeve off now?
Go ahead.
Okay, so